In there. Yeah.
We are live. Hey, everyone. I'm Angela O'Hare, your favorite Las Vegas realtor.
And I'm Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor. That makes me the realtor. And you the rockstar.
Welcome to our monthly market update. Today, we're going to be going over February 2022 numbers. But before we get started, Rob and I only see each other probably once a month. So we're going to kind of get caught up on our lives, I guess, real quick.
Okay.
But Mr. Rob had a birthday on March 8th. He's my little Pisces.
Oh.
And I got him a card and a present.
Thank you very much.
So we got to open up the card and present real quick.
Should we do that now?
Yeah,
okay.
might as well.
All right. Well, we'll whip through it because I'm sure there's people.
Yes, we're going to lunch after this. So I'm very hungry. He's very hungry. So we're going to try to get this in an hour, right?
Yeah. Or less, maybe.
Or less, depending on how much we talk. Wait.
I rock.
You rock. Wait, hit that.
Wait.
Hit the button.
Yeah. Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah. I don't need to be reading the personal. Yeah.
If you want.
It says happy birthday.
Yep.
I'm gonna read this privately because I think there's gonna be. Yep. Sure enough, she's left me. She's put me in her will.
I want to see him get sad. I'm just kidding. Should I read it?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll read it. Hope you had a fantastic birthday. It has been a pleasure working with you and getting to know you and your kind soul. Looking forward to many more business adventures as we grow.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And that's a very nice message. Kind soul.
Has a kind soul.
I'm not sure how that happened. As some know. All right. Well, should I open this too?
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to open that too.
It's $1 million. You shouldn't have. I know you're doing well, Ange, but
I got to share the wealth somehow, right?
Yeah.
So by sharing the
All
wealth.
Right. Here we go. The Rosemary Room.
Yes.
Intriguing.
It's very special.
It's a bag of dope. Sweet. I don't do that anymore, but I'll make some money off of it. All right. Let's see what we got. Oh.
Similar to what I had gotten you a long time ago, but this is black onyx. So there's a special message about black onyx.
I can already feel the weight of it.
Here, I'll read it for you.
This almost feels like metal because it's weight. If you can't tell, but that feels
high
heavy.
Quality.
Yeah.
So black onyx shields the wearer of negative energy.
Ooh, I need that.
Whereas wood jasper promotes a deeper connection to nature. So you got the wood jasper right here.
Yeah.
And then the black onyx.
And that goes with like everything that I wear.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you, and thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's awesome.
So real quick, another personal thing is that Mr. Rob has been playing tennis for some time now.
Yeah.
Right?
For a couple of years. It's coming up.
So I started taking tennis lessons. So I'm really excited about that. One of these days I'll show my technique.
Yeah. I told her, go do this 30 for 30. It's like, what? It's really cheap. It's super cheap.
$30 for 30 lessons at the Darling Tennis Center.
Yep. That's where I started, and very cool people. Tennis has a lot of great people you can meet, and it's great exercise, obviously. And I'm a freaking addict. I mean, that's why I'm wearing this right now, because I just came from the court. So
I can see why people can get addicted to it. It's very fun.
Yeah, I hope you do. I think it's good for your life. I mean, I don't know.
And then real quick, I had posted on YouTube this weekend. I was getting my hair colored. So I got my hair.
It does look great.
I got it cut, relayered.
I didn't see your posts, but I did notice when I walked in. I know we were like bang right into this. Yeah. But yes, it looks great.
All right. So that's
get into that camera a little bit. Your whole look looks really good. Show everybody. Doesn't she look solid? Yeah. All right. So we do have some business.
Let's talk about
business.
There's,
all this is just, we're just, stroking ourselves, but we're going to get into it.
Yeah, let's get into business. That's why you guys are here, not to hear about our personal business. But of course, last month, Rob and I had a prediction.
Yeah, we did a prediction challenge, if you will.
Yes, I said that the median price would increase by $20K Rob said the median price would increase by $15K, and Rob won the bet dead on, right?
Yeah.
Dead on. So
Yeah.
the median price of single family residential homes went from 435,000 to 450,000.
Chunky. We knew it would be a big movement.
Let's add
we
some.
had no doubt it would be a big movement.
Add to the stream. Let's watch our slide.
Chunky stuff.
So,
and as Danny has already said, and On Fire becoming more out of reach for us, I don't disagree in some cases. But anyway, we'll move on.
All right. So that is up. That puts us up 3.4% from the prior month.
Wow.
And up 26.8% from the prior year.
So from February
to February. Yes.
Wow.
So that's a huge increase. However, the number of closings was down.
Yeah.
We only had 2,500 roughly, 2,514 single family homes that sold in February, which was down 1.8% from January and down 9.1% from February 2021. And the reason is, the reason our sales are down is because we don't have enough listings to support the demand.
That's the whole thing. That is the whole shebang, supply and demand. There are more buyers than there are homes available. And when these homes come on, and I don't really care what price range anymore, if you notice that, it's happening all the way up to 2 million at least, where you're getting multiple offers.
Yes.
Because there's just not a lot. If you have a nice property and it goes on, it's getting some looks.
Yeah. And last month we said the peak of the market. This is going to be the peak, I think.
This spring into the summer.
Yep.
Yeah. I really believe that, especially as we have changes, which we may be talking about.
Yes.
Stay tuned. We've got some interesting stuff ahead.
Yes, definitely. We'll go over the numbers, talk a little, go over numbers.
Yeah.
But I did want to mention, because we normally don't talk about condos or townhomes, that the median price of condos and townhomes, and let's get to that little slide.
It's just interesting because it's so it's so hot, right? You know?
Is now at 260,000. Last month, what was it at?
Was it 240? Yeah.
Two something.
I can't remember exactly.
That's up 7% from January and up 31.6% from the year before.
Yeah.
So what that means is when I started in real estate, that was probably the median price of single family homes.
Yeah. What, 5+ years ago or so?
Yeah. 5.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy to think that.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Unforeseeable.
Yeah.
Unforeseeable. That's what that is. And so, I mean, there's your answer, Danny. You got to look in these sectors for affordable price properties. That's why it's so hot.
Yeah. And even not just location, because I had a client interested in a condo, 225 listed, multiple offers. I mean, there is some good to the prices going up, because some of these areas that had been sort of stigmatized or whatever, right?
They're getting new people moving into them, almost forced to, because that's what they can afford. But those people are coming in and fixing up those homes and making the neighborhoods nicer and so on and so forth. I think there is good to that. So I would like to believe there's some positive.
A lot of
just prices going through the roof.
A lot of the old school neighborhoods are getting revitalized.
Yeah, California's used to that,
yes.
right? So we get
that's what the houses look like in California.
Yeah, we get 40% of our buyers from those, and those neighborhoods. I mean, you've heard it through your lifetime. Some of the most scary ones in the 90s. I won't mention the name of these neighborhoods, but they were like totally blighted. They were not safe places for they were gang activity, and people went in there through the years and the decades, and they bought up those homes, and they made these neighborhoods. They're actually very popular there, and prices went through the roof. So that's a little bit what I see happening. A natural, like, okay, we can afford this. I've got that $350,000 listing coming on. It's in a little one of those areas that wasn't, people didn't want to go to for a little while. But this is such an adorable home. The price is right. It's going to sell in a hot second, and somebody's going to make that neighborhood even nicer.
Yep.
So
makes sense.
That is good.
This is bothering me that we're not even. Sorry,
OCD
guys.
Going off.
OCD. There you go.
There we go.
Anyone have comments? We like to interact as we go. Shoot any comments Nothing.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go over the luxury market. So the luxury market last month, there were 114 homes that sold over $1 million compared to December or January's 111. So that was a 3-home increase in the amount of luxury homes that sold. However, the median price did decrease in the luxury market. It went from 1.475 to 1.3125.
It's a little surprising, actually.
Yeah, that's 162,500 decrease in median price for luxury.
Yeah, it's a little surprising, but you know what happens. You get like that big chunky one that like kind of skews the numbers a little bit, but or a couple of those, and then it skews the numbers. But still, that market, I think that's more of a reflection of what's available. The fact that we don't have more of homes selling.
True.
Because I've been working in that price range a lot lately, and it's hot. It's burning hot.
Yes, I'm actually getting my first finally. I mean, I have a few in the works closing at the end of the year, but I finally next month we'll have a 1.25, I think, $1 million closing.
Nice.
Finally.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to happen a lot for
Yes.
you. I'm sure it's the first of many.
I'm not concerned. All right, so let's get back to the numbers.
Numbers. We got numbers for you. You guys like numbers? Good, because we happen to have them.
Yeah. So in January, this is all messed up. So for February, we had a total of 2,950 new listings that hit the market, which is actually up 1.7% from January, but down 2.2% from the year before.
Prior, which was, we started our shortage back then. So, so it's, and obviously people do start to put their properties on the market at this time, when spring starts to hit. So, yeah.
And if you want to watch, Rob and I did a video last month or so about competing with multiple offers. There's a lot of good tidbits in there about ways to win when you're competing against multiple offers. Obviously, we're not going to go into it right now, but that is what's going on in our market today is very multiple offer situations, highest and best type situations, right?
Yeah.
So then there were a total of, we only have 1,741 single family homes on the market as of end of February, which is actually down 4.4% from January, but up slightly 3.8% from the prior year. So last year we were super anemic.
Yeah.
So I want to look at real quick. All right. So we have 1,741 single families. So let's look at condos.
It's like nothing.
316. So that puts us about roughly 2,000 single family homes, condos, and townhomes across the Las Vegas Valley that are on the market, right? I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you look at it? It's very anemic.
Oh, incredibly.
I think we were around that number last year too.
Well, yeah, it says that we were actually even less on the single family residence.
Right.
So,
right.
Which is surprising. But I would venture to say there was more condo townhomes available. So maybe the numbers are about the same overall.
Could be.
We'd have to look, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter really because you have demand and not supply.
Right. So Danny made a comment.
Yeah, Danny. Sure. Firstly, thanks for doing the videos. You're welcome. It's definitely a great public service. Again, you're welcome. How many houses? This is a hard question, actually. How many houses do you think the investors versus actual home buyers? They're definitely active, but it's hard to know what percentage. Maybe 20% or something. More than that, you think?
They're out there. I mean, 30 to 40%.
You think so?
Well, because they're taking advantage of the high rent.
Yeah. No, they're definitely. I mean, I don't know. That's just going to answer. I'm going to say.
Yeah, we don't know offhand.
But
the bulk of my clients aren't investors. So I would like to think that, you have your standard investors like your Open Door, your iBuyers, and what's OfferPad, Open Door.
The big money.
The big money companies. And a lot of them are buying them to make them into rentals, holding on to them, and then selling later.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. For sure. And of course, if they can get their hands on something they can flip, you'll see a lot of that too. And again, through the price ranges. I just went to something in Summerlin over in Tournament Hills, I think it was Terminal Hills. Anyway, and it was a a flip, as you can see. It had all the markings of the flip, and sure enough, I look at the tax, and yeah, they bought it, and so even in the nearly 2 million, or I'm sorry, it was 1.2. So all the way up there. If they can buy it cheap and sell it for more, they're doing it.
Well, there's one home that I had showed my client in Summerlin. It's a KB development in Stonebridge. They bought it, or we were going to get it, but we didn't. It fell through. 681. And then we just realized that the home's back on the market. Flipper came in and has it listed for 875.
I mean, it's very popular thing, and I just did sell. So I just closed on an investor. So it was a listing of mine, and it was a tenant occupied and coming soon. They came in with a heavy offer before we even hit the market, and the seller was like, "Yeah, well, if they're willing to wait for the tenant, let's get it." So we sold that, and that is to a investor that I've known for many years that has been out here. They flip properties. Right. I don't know why I mentioned that. I was going to say something, but anyway.
We know you always get your train of thought lost
Yeah,
sometimes.
sorry.
Or what does Danny say? That's where I get kind of scared because they can sell a lot faster than people who are invested in living in the area when a correction eventually happens.
So that is an interesting...
Excuse me.
Yes. Yes, Danny. I don't want to elaborate too much on it, but I have thoughts about this. I've been speaking about it on my channel a lot. I mean, well, here and there, I should say, not because I'm not trying to be a doomsdayer.
Right.
But if I thought there was a little shakiness, it could, if the investors got pinched hard enough, and this could be not even in real estate as much as the Wall Street, because this is a lot of hedge fund money. They could decide they want to cash out. And well, the problem would be at that point is if they unload a lot of inventory at once.
Right.
But I don't think they'll do that. That would be an incredibly dumb move. And unless they got so hammered financially, I just don't think that would be a possibility.
Yeah, I think a lot of these companies are doing it for rent. I mean, rent is just...
Yeah, so rent isn't going to change, right?
Right.
Like not just turning on a dime. I've never seen rent change on a dime.
No.
Except for when I very first got into the business. And even then, it wasn't like as if it took a big, huge tumble back when we had the big recession. It took a tumble, but not like the houses did. Yeah, because what happened was you had all these people that got displaced from home ownership, and they had to rent. So the rent stayed roughly the same, maybe a little lower. Maybe you could get some pretty good deals, certainly compared to now, way better deals.
Right.
But so, I've never really seen rent prices just completely go sideways.
Right.
So
it's a slow progression.
What would make that happen? I'll put that into my mind. You too. Let's see if we can come up with an answer. What would make that happen? What would make rents change? Really,
more inventory.
More inventory for sure. The demand, right?
The demand, right?
So but how would that happen? I mean, I don't know. So is that a slow?
It's a very vicious cycle.
It's a slow turning, tumbling. Like we would see it coming. A sign here, a sign there. I think that would take some time.
Yeah.
So.
All righty, we're actually almost done with the numbers, and then we got some other topics to talk about. So that puts us at 0.7 months of inventory. We were at 0.7 last month, so I don't understand why it's a negative 0.26 from the prior month, because we were hanging at 0.7 months last month as well. And then that puts us up 14.3% from prior year.
I wonder if they just round that number to 0.7, because it's probably 0.7 ... So that could be.
But 14% up from last year. That's what was last year? Was it like 0.5? I think we stooped that low, didn't we?
We went. Yeah, we did. And was it this time?
Yeah.
Because I think that was the lowest that we went to.
Yeah, 0.5 was the lowest that we went to.
Anyway.
So with that said, that 76.7% of the closings for the month of February was on the market 30 days or less. And in January, it was 71.3. And in February of last year, it was 66.7. So what that means is that a good chunk, 77% basically of the listings stay in the market for less than 30 days.
Yeah.
The remaining,
A lot less than that.
Yeah, the remaining, yeah. And if it's been on the market longer than 2 weeks, then there's something wrong with the house. It's overpriced.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, what would make it not wrong with it? Now, I guess in the higher luxury market, that's where you would see more of those
right
on the market for longer than 2 weeks. Sometimes those sellers are just not in a rush to sell, even if they get something right out the gate that's really good. They're like, that's not how we do it in this market. We're gonna wait and see.
Right.
Maybe I'll get somebody else that wants to give me more than you.
Yeah, but typically listings are listed on a Thursday, and come Monday, multiple offers, decision made, and at least by Tuesday it's under contract.
Yes, that has been the
trend.
Yeah, I mean that's just when you put a listing on, it's just it's your cookie cutter. Boom, here's how we're gonna do it, and that's where it goes.
Yeah, my listings was very successful. You have quite a few listings coming on the market soon, right?
Yep. One this week.
So then we're just going to get into some business aspect stuff. That's the market update for February 2022. I've posted a link down in the description below if you want to pull up the full report and see about the condos and townhomes and how everything else is selling. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was inflation. Today in the RJ, it had the headline was that today's RJ headline says U.S. inflation soars to 40-year high to 7.9%. And they say this is the sharpest spike since 1982.
Yeah, it's going to get worse too.
Yeah. And this was before the whole crisis of the
Ukraine. Right. So that's just only, it was going to get worse anyway.
Right.
Before it got better. And now you have that added to it, which a number of different commodities are now even more limited on the marketplace, and so on and so forth. At least that's what we're hearing, if all is said that is true.
Well, my thoughts are, okay, so gas is here in Vegas, what, $5 a gallon roughly?
Getting there for something. I just got a hybrid, so I'm less in the know.
Well, okay. So now if the gas prices increase, that means people are probably going to be driving less when it comes to the trucks for the people that are delivering product, food.
What do you
Well, like grocery store people, the truck drivers
drive the same.
They're going to be driving the same, but their gas is going to cost more.
Yes.
You don't think that will slow production of things down and cause shortages?
Potentially, yes.
Okay.
I think it does a number of things to the supply chain.
Right.
Not an expert on that.
So then my thoughts are, if that's the case, then inflation is going to go up even more because there's not, the demand for products is there, but you can't get it to us because I don't know, just the whole.
There's and
cause and effect of
coming out of Corona and all that. There's been a number of things. I won't elaborate too much on some of my thoughts, but there's going to be this continued inflationary issue. And of course, when it comes to real estate, of course, that affects real estate. But we've had the inflation that real estate has seen has been much higher than the 7 or nearly 8% they're talking about.
Right.
And that's been because of market conditions in real estate.
Right.
But the inflation does push that as well. So inflation pushes on rental prices, pushes on everything you can think of that you can buy.
I mean, groceries. I went grocery shopping and it cost like over $300 for the same amount of groceries that I buy. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And you know what? If anyone eats Rice Krispies cereal, there's no Rice Krispies on the shelves.
Oh my goodness.
They had bad, slow production or something, but I love my Rice Krispies cereal and there's none on the shelves.
So there's been a number of interesting, missing items. I live right by a Whole Foods, expense foods as we like to call it.
Right.
Yeah. Then and I have a diet that's mostly plant-based. So I'm spending every week. I'm like, man, just for a damn grapefruit, really?
And I went to Rachel's Kitchen and got a sandwich from there the other day, and it was $15. I'm like, God, this is freaking ridiculous.
I mean, look, I do my best not to complain about this stuff, but we do talk about it. I mean, obviously, because this is all part of, the economy as a whole is all part of what happens with the real estate market. Right. So anyway, you guys know, you probably all know this stuff that we were all dealing with.
Yeah, I mean, I just, sometimes it's good to point things out. But real quick, there's a story I forgot to mention. One day I went out to lunch to our favorite sushi place, and the waitress says, "Do you have a brother?" I told you the story, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I wanted to bring this up. It was funny. Do you have a brother? Yeah, and we've only went there a couple of times.
Yeah,
together. We didn't go
but
there
it was
much.
it was during when things were
COVID.
way slow, COVID.
Right,
So
right. And she goes, "Do you have a brother?" And I go, "Brother? No, my brother's in Texas." And she goes, "Well, he comes in often, or not often, but I see him, and he looks like you with the eyes or whatever, because we have our green eyes." Yeah. So I thought that was funny that our sushi place, we've only been to twice together. Someone thought that we were brother and sister.
Yeah. now I got food poisoning from sushi, so I'm not doing it.
We're gonna go eat Thai today, so we gotta hurry up so we can go eat. All right, so then that brings us to interest rates. And in the RJ, it says that the average 30-year fixed rate in the U.S. was 4.12% by February 22nd.
Yeah.
But we looked on our phone.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's 4% right now. At least what Wells Fargo is offering for a 30-year fixed rate.
Right. So what does that mean when interest rates go up as a buyer?
It means it's going to cost you more for your home.
True, but it's going to weed out those that already couldn't afford it so much that it's going to put them in a different bracket and maybe not even be able to purchase altogether.
So I think the smaller movements that we're seeing right now are probably not pushing too many people out, but that is the future concern. As we know, we've been warned that the Fed's going to change the rate. Now people say, "Oh, that's not mortgage rate," but it is. The mortgage rate does move with the Fed rate. It will anticipate that move. It already is. The war in Ukraine actually dropped interest rates for a little bit.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it instantly, that unsettling activity dropped about 3 points. So it was up over 4. It was 4.1, and then it dropped to 3.8. And then we actually went down to 3.6 and change, which was I got a little prognostication coming on. I'm going to indicate where I think I'm going to be with that, but now we're at 4. Will we ever come back? Will we ever drop back down again? That is the question. So,
well, last year or 2 years ago, we were at 4%.
Yes,
because I remember refinancing my house at 4%. We never thought it would go down to 2.5 when it did. Right. So, I mean, never say never.
Yeah.
But this year, no. That's why we say the peak of the season is right now, because once those interest rates start going up, it's going to push people out of the market. So as a seller, if you can and want to, now is the best time to sell.
Absolutely. I think the initial rate move, when the Fed finally does it, may actually spur people into the market, because they're going to say, "Oh, it's finally happening. We better get in on these rates." And that's whether you're doing a refi, whether you're buying a house, or even if you're thinking of doing any kind of a home equity line of credit to do some fixing up on your house. You better do it ASAP.
Well, 2 is also, you got to think, if you're buying new construction and the build time is 10 months.
That could immediately change things.
That could change things a lot with the new construction people, unless they allow you to lock in the rate, which is usually not until like 60 days.
You usually got to pay. You usually got to pay to lock in the rate. And that may be worth considering, depending on what you think is going to happen. Now, for example, they've kind of said 3, maybe 4 rate movements this year.
Right.
What? Okay, so the Fed moves the rates. Mortgage rates kind of say, "Okay, we're going to go with that." If they do that once, it's going to be like, twice. It's going to be like, 3 times. Going to be like, oh, 4 times. Going to be like, ah. So if you thought, that was going to happen,
right,
and then you would want to lock in. You might be worth looking at locking in your rate if you knew you had to buy that property and it was going to take 9-month build or whatever, 6 months, 9 months, even longer in some of these other builders. You'd want to think about doing that. And then you just don't even know what's going to happen with the bond market. That ends up, as the bond market goes down, rates go up. And so that's that gets into some detail. But so that's another way that mortgage rates can change. If all of those things perfect stormed on us, you could have much higher rates, mid-year, maybe even late year.
Yeah. And another thing, though, I mean, yes, the rates are higher, but you got to imagine how many years ago people would say 10%.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But then, of course, the median price is a lot higher.
There you go. Look, my mother, who's been in the business since I was born, I went to real estate school in her belly, but she remembers in the 80s, and those rates were up as like 17, 18%.
Yeah.
But the houses were like $100,000.
But I don't think we'll ever see it at the 2.5.
Nope.
Not for a very long time.
I mean, I won't, like you say, I won't say never,
never.
But maybe not in our lifetime. We may not see that again. And so that's a little bit of a hint of what my prognostication will be. I have to have some content. Plus, yes. I already filmed it, and I don't want to change it too much. So,
yeah, Rob's channel. What's your channel?
Rob Howe Rockstar Realtor. That's Rob Howe, H-A-U.
H-A-U.
Yeah.
Now you know how.
Now you know how to spell my name.
And you post usually Mondays and sometimes Tuesdays.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Mondays. But sometimes I don't edit. She edits her stuff. I don't edit my stuff. Sometimes I'm counting on somebody to get it done. And every now and then I'm not able to get my filming done on time. But I'm getting better, and I'll make sure it's on Monday.
Well, here's my problem is I'm running out of ideas.
Oh, right.
Or I just don't have time to film because I still edit it. And so it's just like, guys, there may be out of the 3.5 years I've been on YouTube, every Monday, I never missed it. I don't know. I'm thinking, what am I going to be doing? I don't know.
Well, don't worry about it. Sometimes you got to say, hey, I need a little mental break to really recharge and give you the best I can. And that's kind of how I've rationalized it if I miss my mark a little bit.
Yeah, but it's such a great record. Never miss a Monday.
It is. You're like Cal Ripken of, YouTube videos. That's great. I mean,
I just need to hire one more buyer's agent, and then I can have more freedom.
Sweet. Look at you. I did hire a social media marketing person.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Nice.
So I'm kicking butt with that. I've got my editor, and then I'll be hiring some more too. I mean, if things go
ideally, Lori's going to start taking a lot of the leads, but yeah, it's just busy. Anyway, let's get to some questions.
Yeah, we got questions. Are we already? I guess we could.
Well, we got one last thing, but we'll ask.
So Lionel said, "Better spend it now," and he must have been referring to something we said.
Yeah, it's 6 minutes and 39 seconds.
Oh, okay. So that's more of a reference for people watching then. When you're rewatching, when will the bubble ever burst? 2 years? Gosh, bubble burst. I don't know. And I feel really actually good about Vegas's chances to withstand a lot of things that might happen. Where I'd be more concerned about bubbles and things is actually outside of Vegas, because you have markets that have purged a lot of people, like California, for example. And, somewhere along the line it just makes sense. 1 and 1 equals 2, that they're going to have like this missing thing. And somewhere along the line, the real estate starts to have some changes.
Yeah, I don't think it'll burst. I think we'll finally, hopefully with the interest rate hikes, stabilize. And I don't still see homes coming on the market. I still don't see it.
Yeah, you don't see that instant bit of inventory. To answer the question, I think this is the best answer we can give.
Right.
When inventory spikes, when we have a bunch of inventory, that's when you are looking at a bubble burst. Now, what caused that could be a lot of different things, and really actually not a lot of different things. But I mean,
well, I've been in real estate for 5.5 years. And since I've been in real estate, it's always been a seller's market.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, when it's more than 6 months of inventory, it's a buyer's market. And when it's under 6 months of inventory, it's a seller's market. And it's always been a seller's market.
Strong. Yeah. Well,
it's been a very strong
you have to
market.
Remember, of course, you would caveat that with that you came in, and so did I. I came in when everything was crashing, and then my real estate career continued on as we went up.
Right.
So we came from a decimation, an absolute decimation, especially Las Vegas, Nevada.
And that will not happen again.
I believe that I wouldn't say we're necessarily recession-proof. Again, we never say never, but the states that got hit the hardest are sort of, in a way, insulated from getting hit hard again. Certainly the same way. because we already went through that, you know.
Well, and the only reason I say it's not going to happen is because the bulk of the buyers are cash buyers. I mean, I would say more than 50%.
Yeah. So, right. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah, I just think that, you know, I mean, I have a good chunk of finance clients, but I would say 80% of my buyers are cash.
So it's a great point. The money that is not only in the cash buying, but behind the loans that are being given.
Right.
So
yes, the huger down payments, they're putting half down.
Going over appraisal. They're putting real dollars from their account that they had to make somehow and, you know, buy this property. Whereas like when we had the crash before, it was fake. It was fake. It was like no down payment stuff.
Right.
You know, you're doing 80-20 loans, so on and so. I mean, just a numerous little house of cards that were built up.
Yeah. The adjustable arm, right?
Yeah.
The adjustable interest rates.
Yeah. Yeah. So your rate would adjust and so on and so forth. This was a very different, this has been for the last couple of years, especially, and really since my career began 13 years ago, it has been such a different market, how people buy property. There's skin in the game. There's real money that's always on the table. And I would even say to the chagrin of people who would use FHA loans and VA loans and so on and so forth, they're not really as much buying right now because they can't compete as much. So all these are conventional, 10, 20, 25% down, if not more, plus going over appraisal.
I've had a handful of VA loans. I haven't had any FHA loans.
I'm just saying loans. By the numbers,
right.
We're way lower. So, and I mean, I don't even mean to make them sound bad. It's just they're putting less money in on those in general. So I'm just pointing to the strength,
right,
of like, okay, 3.5% down FHA. You know, that's only 3.5% down. 20% down conventional, much stronger loan in general.
Right.
Although some people are still coming in on those FHAs and saying, all right, I'll come up with some appraisal money, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the difference between FHA is the loan amount that's allowed. And I don't even know what that is anymore. In 400,000?
No, it's higher than that. It went up.
Yeah, I had it.
Maybe almost 5. I have to honestly haven't been working with them so much, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
And really what happens too is that you find that the better deal is on that conventional if you can put the money down because you don't have to pay the private mortgage insurance.
Right.
And even if you do on a conventional, you can pay less. I don't know. It just works out on the lender
side. One
of
these days we'll have a lender.
Yeah. You know, I always tell people we know a lot about loans. We do. It's not as if we don't know this stuff, but what it is you have to be careful. What you think you know, you have to sort of be smart and not say like you know too much because we don't do that side of it every day.
It's not our area of expertise.
Yeah, we're not in on the ground zero of doing the paperwork and always dealing with that side of things.
So Mr. Danny says, do you think they will keep building houses closer to Creech?
Yep.
Most certainly.
Yep. Pahrump is on fire.
But Creech is away from Pahrump.
Yeah, but I'm just speaking anything, you know, even if Nevada as a whole, Reno, blasting.
Reno's prices are cray-cray.
Yeah, even stronger than Vegas. I would have never thought that.
Well, because it's right next to California.
Yeah, but I would never. Who would have thought California wants to go to Reno?
You have the same. Well, it's a no state tax, and it's a similar weather.
So yes, but again, some of these scenarios had to be created in order for people to want to do that. And I do understand Reno's right by Tahoe. Go up to the mountains, go skiing, snowboarding. Yeah.
All right. So we're good. We been 40 minutes in. I'm going to go over new construction sales because I like to go over that. And then we're going to call it a day so we can go and have a nice lunch. We're going to eat Thai.
That's right.
I love Thai. All right. So in new construction, builders sold single family houses. The median price is at $482,320. So the median price for single family resale homes is $450. So obviously new construction is more than resale homes.
There's your premium you're paying. You can always kind of check on that, and you could do a percentage and figure out what that percentage is. But
yeah, and another thing I always like to tell my clients when you're buying new construction, I never try to dissuade you in any way, but I always like to tell my clients the facts. When you buy new construction, property tax is approximately, now it can change, but it's approximately 1% of total purchase price. So if you're buying a $500,000 home, that's $5,000 in property taxes. Typically in a resale, it'd be half that price, $2,500.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's, and then also when you buy new construction, depending on where, most new master plan communities have SIDS or LITs. So then you have that added extra expense on top of the property tax being higher.
That's without getting into the upgrades you're going to want.
Right.
Because you're going to look at that model home and go, I want this.
Right. So then that's up 23.6% from January. And then condos and townhomes median price. Now get this, median price for new construction, $348,990.
Wow. So they want to build those.
Yeah. And those are for resale, it's $260,000.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Yeah. They're really, a lot of those are kind of in the, well, the townhomes must be what skew that because they build more of those than the condos. Well, you would think more condos, but they just haven't been able to get as many of those rolling.
Well, it's so interchangeable, a condo and a townhome. I mean, to me, a townhome is two houses together and it's a townhome.
Yeah.
But they use townhomes as like condos. They call condos townhomes or vice versa. To me, a townhome, you have a little yard, yada, yada, and it's attached to another house.
Yeah.
But a lot of these builders are calling them townhomes and they're kind of like a condo.
They look like a damn condo. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very confusing. So overall, builders sold 722 new homes in January, which is up 2% from the same time last year. And then they had logged 1,090 net sales, which means purchases minus cancellations in January. But the 2021, that was 1,249. In 2020, it was 1,116. So they're slightly down from last year.
I mean,
by 200.
Yeah, the reality is if they could build them faster, they would have more sales. So that's the reality. They can't build them fast enough.
Right.
Even though they've got home sites that are more probably than they even had last year, they just can't build them fast enough. So.
Yeah, I mean, like Toll Brothers, prime example. Now they're saying 14 to 16 months wait time. But one good thing that Toll Brothers is doing is building spec homes. And so that they'll have a couple, and these are fully almost ready, maybe 90 days out closing. Like Skye Canyon, there's a couple over there in Aviano. I sold one over there in Montrose. So they're having some spec homes, which is pretty cool because then they could just buy it and only wait 90 days instead of 10 months.
The fact that they even have the ability to offer a spec home does give you some insight into that. It's just slightly slower there. Well, they couldn't even offer that last year.
A lot of builders, what they're doing, like Taylor Morrison, for example, they will do, they'll spec everything out because of time constraints that way they can order. So a design
cookie
person,
cutter it a little bit.
Yeah. They'll order the countertops and the cabinetry and everything and the flooring ahead of time.
That's what you get.
And that's what you get.
Yep.
So some of these new construction communities, you have very limited on what you can make it as your own.
Yeah. I know they're constantly warning people about supply issues as well.
Right.
Whether it's like, I know one sale I'm doing, it's like the bathroom surrounds. We're not able to get those. The ACs. We're not able to get the AC.
Garage doors.
Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, I got my ACs in about 4 days when I ordered them for my house, and I got my garage door in what was supposed to be 8 weeks, but it turned out to be 4 weeks.
Where'd you order your garage door from?
A very cool garage door company that was half the price of another one. So I'll give you that information. It was
Is your yard done?
Sandcord Garage. Not yet. The yard. I'm doing painting and then the yard.
Well, I want to see it.
Yeah, you will. I can't wait to show it. I'm very proud of what I've done.
All right, guys, we're wrapping up. We've had a great audience today. It's been hovering around 29, 30 people, which is awesome. Let us know anything, questions before we sign off.
Yeah, you better pop them in.
Yep. So Bree said that on new construction, you have to, homeowners insurance, but how much are you really saving on new construction? A couple $100?
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of safety things and a lot, they consider it better build and
energy savings, energy efficiency. Save,
but just for the insurance company's perspective, it's like it's not the same as cars because we drive cars around. So it doesn't matter how new it is. Actually, it matters because you're going to drive around a new car and get it smashed up, and then they'd have to pay for the new car prices.
Right.
But homes, it's a new home, it's going to be more safety oriented, and so I think you do get a little break on that homeowners insurance, but it's probably minimal.
Yeah.
When you look at everything else.
Yeah. I mean, if property taxes is $2,500 more and you save $300 on homeowners insurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
$395.
Oh, that's really good. That is significant. I mean, I pay, I think,
that is
$500
huge.
for mine, 5 and change for
I
my
don't even know what I
homeowners
pay.
insurance. So yeah, I that is a really good rate, Bree.
What company?
Maybe this is something we're not even aware of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Send it over. Let's talk to them.
Yeah. Let's talk to them so we can refer them.
We do.
Or maybe I can get a good deal on mine.
And that's something I want to mention. We have contacts and vendors and people that we like to share. If you have them, AAA. Okay. Big one. If you have them, let us know. We always want to know about good people to use in our market.
Yeah, if you have a home handyman that you like, or a plumber, or we could always use it because we have a lot of clients that settle for buying resale and are okay with remodeling it themselves.
Yeah, but even those new home buyers, eventually, you know them for 5-10 years, they're needing stuff, and it's like, hey, Rob, who do you got?
I'm still debating on whether doing my bathrooms or flooring next.
Well, I'd say bathrooms.
Bathrooms?
Yeah. And then get that flooring in.
True.
Bam, bam, bam.
True.
Kitchens and bathrooms first, right?
True.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, whatever. As
but
long as you're living here, it's not going to matter what you do.
My only fear is that the costs have gone up so much. That's like, should I wait until it?
So the way I look at this, and this is a great thought, and this is why I've spent a lot of money on my home lately, is that yes, costs are going up, but you're basically putting money into a piggy bank when you put it into your home right now.
Right.
So I think actual things that will hold value. So I put on that new garage door. It holds its value. It makes my home better, and it holds that value in a time of inflation. So yes, you might have paid a little bit more for it to get it, but I think in the long run, you're basically putting money in a piggy bank.
It's true.
That's my thought.
True. I know. I'm debating too. I want to kind of spruce up the front yard, repaint it. Do you have painters too?
Yes.
All right.
I've got great painters.
All right. But then I have to go through the whole HOA approval. So anyways, folks, we are going to wrap up under an hour. First time ever in a long time. No one was talkative today.
A little bit, not too much.
Not too much. Not like normal, but that's cool. We're hungry. We're going to go sign off, eat some lunch, and see you guys on the next one, right? Thank you so much for watching.
Rock on.
And do it peacefully. And we'll see you guys.
Yeah, like we said, we'll see you on the next one. Whoopsie.
We're hungry. Yeah. Later, guys. You're welcome.